we're pleased to invite to the stage Shri Srinivas, Secretary, Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances, to speak about data-driven governance, harnessing innovation for citizen-centric public services. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Shri Srinivas.
It's not here. The PPT is not here.
Here it is.
Okay. So how do you run that?
Okay. All right. Okay.
So a very good morning to all. My distinguished colleague, Secretary, Ministry of Information Technology and Electronics, Shri Krishnan, Director in Institute of Sciences, Bangalore, Dr. Ranganathan, distinguished colleagues. It's a great privilege to be a part of this symposium. A few days back, when I was briefed and invited about this symposium, I thought it was a wonderful idea to have a discussion on how data for public good can be used. And my own experience of building applications and building fully digital public institutions for almost a decade has convinced me that mathematical models can be brought in to bring significant changes in lives of people. And the policy maxim of maximum governance, minimum government that the current government espouses envisages a digitally empowered citizen and a digitally transformed institution. So my journey with handling big data happened when I was posted at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences. In fact, you'll find references to it in Ram Sevak Sharma's book, The Making of Aadhaar. There's also a book by the current chairman of TCS, Digital Nation. Mr. Chandrasekharan had written one. In that also, there's a mention of how the AIMS digitization was a program that transformed the lives of millions of patients by reducing wait times, bringing transparency into appointments, surgeries being available much faster. In fact, when we digitized AIMS, what we found was that the patient loads could almost be tripled with process reengineering and strong mathematical models. The successful experience of the All India Institute of Medical Sciences enabled me to digitize about 1,500 revenue courts of Rajasthan, wherein which the farmers simply had no idea when their dates were being scheduled, when the arguments were being heard, and what judgments came out. They were totally at the mercy of advocates. So from that, to create a technologically transformed institution from an obsolete institution became a great passion for me. And the focus was on how do you change a citizen's life when you bring in new applications. That was what I had pursued. So as Secretary, Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances, for almost a decade now in this department, we pursued the centralized public grievance redress mechanism as a modality and as an instrument to empower citizens and as an instrument of state policy for effective redressal of public grievances. So this is a presentation that we have made in several fora. We made a presentation at London to the Commonwealth heads of public service and secretaries to the cabinet of 56 countries. Many countries asked us that it should be replicated as digital public good across many countries, and we made a presentation to US government on this subject, and everybody would like to hear grievances, voices are heard and simplified. And it played a major role, particularly in the pandemic, when more than 20,000 grievances were being filed every day, and grievance redressal time was brought down to about 3 days. So let me tell you, one of the most successful applications of Government of India in terms of how data can be used for public good. In fact, a month back, we were at Visakhapatnam making a presentation to the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh at the 28th National E-Governance Conference, and he kept on asking continuously, show me the new applications for citizen benefit. So this was one of them that we had shared, and we thought we'll share this with you today. Okay. The centralized public grievance redress mechanism is a foundation for smart government. It is currently the world's largest 24/7 digital interface for grievance redressal. And the government's policy is effective redressal of public grievances in a timely, accessible, and meaningful manner. So here is a digital platform that's available to more than 31 lakh citizens. It has redressed 1.5 crore grievances within the last 5 years. It has more than 108,000 officers mapped on it, and the average grievance resolution time is 14 days. On the 14th day, the citizen receives a phone call that his grievance has been redressed and whether he is satisfied with the grievance redressal or not. So those of you who are interested in it, please do visit the portal. There's also an app. It's available across common service centers, across 5.23 lakh CSCs across the nation. How do you create interoperable systems, responsible data sharing, and public service delivery when you have so much citizen data? It's something that we were working on, secured connected intelligence programs, and transforming grievance redressal. So data-driven policy making for decisions. In fact, the Prime Minister reviews this program on a monthly basis in his Pragatis, where Agenda 1 is grievance redressal. And he has often spoken about how people-centric, policy-centric, as also root causes to be analyzed in grievance redressal. And there is an overall vision with which this entire subject has been taken up across government, in which several right to service commissions are working with us, all states are working with us, 36 administrative training institutes, several central training institutes, and an effort is made to identify a root cause and then take it forward to ensure that cause is redressed. For example, during the pandemic, there were more than 200,000 grievances that were received by missions across India seeking evacuation. And Vande Bharat, with one policy intervention, could redress lakhs of grievances that were being filed. Similarly, migration was another big issue that was to be addressed, employment opportunities. And the portal actually withstood a massive test during the pandemic in redressing and reaching out to every citizen. And interacting with thousands of citizens over a decade now, I have seen how transformative a very successful mathematical model can bring to identify disaggregated data analysis, simplify program implementation in priority sector programs, and also bring in significant supervisory oversight over the implementation authorities. So this is a study that we had done with the Management Development Institute. And what MDI study points out is that timely redressal of grievances provides an enhanced trust levels of government. And we are receiving about 30 lakh grievances a year. So it's a huge number of data that is coming in. And each grievance, as you can see, this many rising bars are seen. And the delivery indicates that there are certain specific departments where grievances are being filed. For example, you look at state level grievances, revenue related grievances, majorly land. And second, police related, water supply, then you have PWD, roads, and also social justice, where scholarship programs. Then you look at central ministries, you have a lot of cases coming to labor and employment, where white collar jobs and a lot of EPFO pensioners not receiving pensions on time, banking-related issues wherein which you have ATM frauds or cyber frauds on credit cards coming in. So how do you find answers, and what are the areas where improvements have been brought in? When you have a data set of about 100 lakh citizen voices, how do you disaggregate? In one of the presentations we were asked, can you tell me in Varanasi district, under the priority sector program of PM Awas Yojana, how many corruption cases have been received? It is very difficult to identify tehsil-wise, village-wise data sets unless you have an AI-enabled system. You can build a strong platform, you add AI to it, it makes transformative governance. So I'll take you through the dashboards that we have built on CPgrams to analyze disaggregated data analysis, and then how disaggregated data analysis is again recollated into larger data sets to take it forward. So we've built 3 dashboards, one in collaboration with the Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur, and that has now been extended to the Indian Institute of Technology of Bhubaneswar, and one which we have built with National Institute of Smart Governance, that is the Tree dashboard, and then one with National Informatics Center. So this is an article from Business Standard last week, in which what Tamal Bandyopadhyay's article says, that ranking ministries and ranking public sector banks, particularly with regard to grievance disposal, and has enabled a significant improvement in their own performance. Month on month, the quality of performances, be it a large bank like State Bank of India or a smaller bank like the Central Bank of India, across banks, the performance across the 11 systemic indicators has significantly improved. And that's what makes the CPgrams a state-of-the-art grievance redressal system across the globe. It is agile, it is data-friendly, and it provides so much nuanced data sets are available on the system. A system of this size requires huge number of stakeholders, and one of the big tasks of building large mathematical models is you need to learn to work in teams. And CPgrams today has more than 108,000 officers working on it. There are multiple technology institutions who are working on it. There are administrative training institutions which enable and conduct capacity building programs to operate these AI-driven platforms, because many officers are not familiar with how do you use a platform which has so many features on it. And it also has large language models. Bhashini, the platform is available in every language across India. And there's a call center that Germanium Technologies operates. Quality Council of India brings out monthly reports. In fact, 1951, when the first report on public administration was authored by Gorwala, he said what is not inspected is simply not done. It is not only what is not inspected, what has to be published, and data has to be placed in public domain so that people understand how the data sets are evolving, how it is moving forward, and then create a month-on-month, year-on-year comparisons. And trends can therefore thereafter be analyzed. So NIC is our system aggregator, and we used to have, and I'll tell you how transformative this impact has been. Our department used to have 33 lakh letters going out in physical form. Every citizen who filed a grievance, a letter would be sent out from our department, and we would be sending out 14,000 letters in a day. From that, we have moved to a paperless system, and we can, in fact, we could not follow who was signing. You would stand next to a section officer or an undersecretary, and they would be signing responses all day. They didn't have time to lift their head. That was the kind of paper load. From there, we have moved to a completely paperless system, which is transparent, monitorable, and provides results. It's important that it provides results. In fact, the satisfaction levels on the portal went up from 28% to now 67%. So that is the kind of citizen voices that we're hearing. So CPGrams was rated amongst the 100 big technology ideas for Viksit Bharat at 2047 as a completely paperless system that was developed. And this was the conference that gave us a lot of confidence. When we made a presentation to 56 cabinet secretaries, we found that it was tremendously innovative and everybody was interested. From the Americans to the British to the developing countries to the emerging economies, everybody was interested in replicating it because everybody wanted to redress their citizen voices, simplify a citizen's interaction with government. And it was, of course, called the state-of-the-art grievance redressal system and recommended for replication. Now, how did this happen? This journey took us many years to develop. It's not easy to develop a portal of this magnitude, and it took us almost 4 years of hard work to bring it here. We universalized CPGrams. If you want to file a grievance with a post office in Araku Valley, from sitting in Delhi, you can file it within 20 seconds. The grievance will land at the post office in Araku Valley. So we universalized CPGrams to map every department, official, field formation in government. The second one was we tried to ramp up the pace at which grievances were being disposed. And we used to have pendencies of 11 lakhs, 12 lakh grievances pending. Today we have less than 50,000. The reason is that every officer was monitored, ranked, and those who were not performing were informed that this is what your data sets show. We brought down the average disposal time from 120 days to 14 days. That is a remarkable transformation that could be achieved. Today, more than 31 lakh citizens are registered on the portal, and the pendencies are at an all-time low. In fact, I'll show you the charts of how the pendencies look. And you can see that our goal was to target 50,000 grievances per month and an average grievance time of 7 to 10 days. I think that can be the next step, wherein which we will be bringing it down from what was essentially about 120 days in 2015 to 7 to 10 days in 2025. The technology transformation for improving citizens' lives is something that each one of you should study and understand. And it can happen not only in this particular field, but multiple applications, as Secretary Maiti has pointed out. So, not only did we reach out to every central ministry, we reached out to every state government. And every state had a grievance portal, starting from Awaz-e-Awam in Jammu and Kashmir to Mo Sarkar in Orissa, Aple Sarkar in Maharashtra, Jan Sunwai in Uttar Pradesh, you had Jan Sampark in Rajasthan. Everywhere there was a grievance portal that improvements could be brought in. So a rising tide lifts all boats. We could take up almost 36 grievance portals across the nation and bring them up on the par with the Government of India's portal. And at the same time, we could improve about 25 odd central ministries portals and bring it on par with the Government of India portal. This is the Honorable Prime Minister's review of public grievances on a month-on-month basis. In December, this was his direction, and he said timely, quality disposal of grievances must be ensured by every ministry. And he's asked us to conduct root cause analysis, case studies across all states and ministries, collaboration with banks, insurers, regulators to identify recurring themes, and also robust quality metrics to be developed. In fact, these are the comprehensive guidelines that were issued, and these envisage significant improvements in terms of how AI would be brought into the system. This is an important feature, and Grievance Redressal Assessment Index, this is what Tamal Bandyopadhyay had quoted, and every ministry is ranked in this way. So 11 indicators, the green show they're doing well, the red show that they're not doing well. And if you are in red, then that particular category will have to show improvement. So across sectors, we identify who are performers, who are the non-performers, and identify the areas where improvements are possible. I did mention this. We started with universalization of CPgrams. The first time I went to a ministry, they said, oh, we're doing perfectly well. We don't need this kind of a change. Bringing process change requires considerable interpersonal skills and also negotiation skills. Keep going back, talk to them, try to convince and sell an idea. And my decade-long experience has told me that every time you bring a change, you will run into a wall of resistance. And to go past it, technology adoption is the best way for improving processes. So that is what I would advise each one of you. And this is the new user registration, thousands of people adopting it. And this is the use of AI in CPgrams. And predictive analysis, exploratory analysis, pattern recognition, intelligent issue. In fact, the first time we realized the need for streamlining our own process was when one of the professors of an Indian Institute of Technology said he had 1,080 complaints filed against him from multiple channels. And he said most of them are fake and repeat complaints coming in. So that was when we introduced habitual complainants were identified and they were segregated. We kept a cap on the maximum number of grievances that could be filed on a system at 10, not more than 10. And then we went into details of, so if you see this kind of a map, if you see a live model, which state are they coming, which village are they coming, which town are they coming, grievances, this kind of detailed analysis are available priority program-wise. This is the first dashboard that we had built called the Intelligent Grievance Monitoring Dashboard. This was followed by another dashboard that we built called the Tree Dashboard, and this was used for priority sector programs. Government runs multiple priority sector programs, and this was taken up. Multilingual, large language models being used, mobile applications coming in, and the outcome was 67% satisfaction levels is what we see. And it is possible to even raise it further, provided our officers are better trained, our officers are better informed on handling analytical platforms. This is the Management Development Institute study, and they've called it as the techno-administrative transformation. Krishnan has just spoken about techno-legal transformation. And I was quite fascinated by this chart that Professor Avnish, the Dean of MDI, had shown me. And he said, look at the trust levels and resolution effectiveness. He said there's a direct correlation between trust and the resolution effectiveness, provided there is organizational commitment. That is where efficiency comes in. We are, of course, building a very advanced AI-driven model called the Next-Gen CPgrams to be launched in April 2026. And we initially thought we will rewrite the source code, but it has gone far beyond rewriting a source code when we start the project that we started with. And we're going to bring in a huge number of advanced features, voice-based grievance submissions, accessibility for disabled, then standardized disposal quality metrics, a whole range of new systemic features that are going to be brought in. So this presentation is already available with you. You can take a look. The front end is going to be far more slick and far more streamlined compared to what we have. And so maybe when I come back in April 2026, we will show you how the next-gen CPgrams would look. So this is what I wanted to share with you. Thank you very much for inviting me. My great privilege to visit this esteemed institution. The Indian Institute of Science is, of course, a role model for excellence and has had a huge legacy ever since C.V. Raman was here. And passing through these corridors gives me a sense of nostalgia and also a sense of immense pride. Thank you very much.
So now invite Vasant to please hand over a token of appreciation to Mrs. Srinivas. Please give a round of applause